Knowledge is one of the most valuable assets in today's world. Want a good job? You need expertise in the field you aim to work in. Want good grades in school? You have to study and learn the material. Maybe you're interested in picking up a new hobby, like woodworking. You'll need to learn about the best types of wood, the tools required, different techniques, and so on. The list of things that require knowledge is practically endless. So in today's video, I'll show you how to learn faster, more efficiently, and how to retain that knowledge for longer. But before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment to help with the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more content like this. Not only does it really help my channel, but I also get a small dopamine hit whenever someone subscribes. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, check out the link to my Patreon in the description below. With that out of the way, let me show you how to learn anything like a pro. This is your brain. It weighs around 3 pounds and is made up of a specific type of cells called neurons. These cells are responsible for making you conscious, controlling your muscles, regulating your breathing, your heartbeat, and so much more. But for today, we're focusing on one key function: learning. When you learn something new, neurons in your brain connect in specific ways to create neural pathways. The strength of these pathways determines how good or bad you are at a skill, like throwing darts, for example. The only way to strengthen these pathways is through practice. Practice helps these connections grow stronger and more resistant to weakening over time. For example, when I was younger, I rode my bike everywhere. This frequent practice built strong neural pathways related to bike riding. Now, even though I haven't ridden a bike in years, I could easily hop on one and ride without any trouble because those pathways are still pretty strong. Now that we've covered how learning works at the biological level, let's dive into the strategies you can use to help your brain form neural pathways more easily and strengthen them in the process. But instead of thinking that this is a simple list of different elements, keep in mind that they are all interconnected with each other. Focusing on just one aspect won't give you the full benefit. You need to approach them together for the best results. So let's say you want to learn Python. You hop onto YouTube and search for some tutorials. You come across a video titled Python in 1 hour and decide to give it a watch. For the first 10 to 20 minutes, you're fully engaged, watching in full screen and focusing entirely on the video. But after that, your focus starts to fade. Maybe you start to scroll through the comments or open a new tab, letting the video play in the background. If this happens, it means your attention has been depleted. There are several things that can constantly lower your attention span, but there are also ways to improve it. To avoid shrinking your attention span, you should reduce your exposure to short-form content like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram Reels. These platforms train your brain to focus for shorter periods of time while overstimulating it. As a result, when you try to focus on something less stimulating and longer than 60 seconds, it can feel much harder. To increase your attention span, start by engaging with content that isn't as stimulating, such as books or even long-form YouTube videos. However, the most effective way to improve your attention span is through meditation. Meditation involves simply focusing on your breath, typically for 10 minutes per one session. During this time, you'll probably find your mind wandering, but the key is to recognize when your attention drifts and gently bring it back to your breath. This practice strengthens your ability to stay present and focused on one thing. But keep in mind that the benefits of meditation take time. Generally, you will start noticing improvements after about 30 days of meditating daily for 10 minutes. But remember, attention is only one part of the puzzle. The next critical element is alertness. If attention is the amount of time you can focus on something, alertness is the effectiveness of that focus. Many factors influence your alertness. Are you tired? Did you sleep well last night? Are you motivated to learn? How much time have you already spent learning today? These and other factors all play a role. To improve your alertness, you can follow the same strategies as for improving attention: meditating, cutting out short-form overstimulating content, and engaging in longer, more calming activities like reading books. However, there's an additional factor that can boost your alertness: stress. After mild stress, neurotransmitters like adrenaline and noradrenaline are released, activating your body's fight or flight system, which can make you more alert and focused. On the flip side, eating can reduce alertness. After a meal, your body shifts away from the fight or flight mode, making you feel more relaxed and less sharp. But the most critical factor for improving alertness is sleep. A good amount of sleep not only leaves you energized and ready to learn, but it also plays a crucial role in converting short-term memory into long-term memory. That's hippocampus, a part of your brain that stores your short-term memories, like what you did before watching this video or what you ate for breakfast. But more importantly, the things you learned, because they aren't immediately stored as long-term memories. So without proper sleep that transforms things that you learned through the day, the information you've learned may slip away, making your efforts to learn less effective. So far, we've covered attention, alertness, and sleep. These three things have one major thing in common. They're key components for learning when you're under a deadline, whether it's for school, work, or any situation where you need to acquire knowledge quickly. But now we're entering into a slightly different realm. Don't get me wrong, these next components are closely connected to attention, alertness, and sleep, but they're more suited for learning when you don't have a pressing deadline. Think hobbies, personal projects, or when you're building knowledge for your own interests. With that in mind, let's talk about repetition. Repetition is just as important as sleep because it serves a similar function. It helps transition memories from short-term to long-term storage. However, it uses a slightly different mechanism. mechanism. Your brain won't send newly acquired knowledge to long-term memory if you only encounter it once. From the brain's perspective, it's simply not worth the effort to maintain those neural pathways by using up proteins, energy, fatty acids, and other resources if that information is rarely used. Repetition essentially prevents your brain from deleting what it considers useless information and reinforces it by storing it in long-term memory. As you can see, repetition is critical, but there's a catch. You can overdo it. That's why it's also important to take breaks from learning to avoid burnout and give your brain time to absorb the information. Breaks not only help you regain your attention and alertness after a study session, but they also allow your brain to stabilize the new information you've acquired. What I mean by that is, the new stuff you learn is actually unstable at first. If you keep trying to learn new things without taking breaks, your brain might start to lose or overwrite the information. To prevent this, you should take breaks lasting around 10 to 20 minutes. But it's important that you don't use your phone or engage in any other stimulating activities during this time. Just like when you're at the gym and you rest between sets, you need to give your brain time to relax, similar to how you let your muscles recover after exercise. And there you have it. We've covered the 5 key components of learning like a pro. But there's one last critical piece to discuss: making mistakes. Mistakes play a crucial role in building new neural pathways, especially because they often trigger negative emotions, like anxiety. Why is that important? Well, the emotions, and more specifically, the neurotransmitters released when you make a mistake, not only make you more alert, as I mentioned earlier, but they also signal to your brain that it needs to improve its efficiency. This means your brain starts gathering and processing new information better and faster. It's almost like giving your brain a wake-up call, opening it up and pouring new knowledge in. And that's it. We've covered all the key components of learning faster, better, and more efficiently. I hope you'll take the knowledge you've gained today and use it to learn something new and become a better version of yourself. Just remember, to get the most benefit from this video, you need to apply all 6 strategies together. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.